everybody. How are you guys doing out there? We're coming in A-OK. Let us know. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, it's Reed here.
I better turn down my darn. Hold on. Got it. Turn
Where
down.
is everybody else?
Well, I imagine D-Mac will be along. He's always late. And then I also invited Rod Painless. I'm sure he's either at work. He'll pop in at some time. Anyway, how is everybody out there today?
Worn out and tired.
One tired.
Sick.
I got a bad cold in my eye. We got, see what we have here. Try to see who's in the chat.
Pa Hillbilly. Laura Jean.
Got Kayfabe. She's on the panel, you guys. Lori Jean, Uncle Al, Kyle Anderson. Lee's on the panel. It looks like about. Is that all we're gonna have?
Palmetto prepared. And Uncle Al.
Where's Palmetto at?
He just came in.
Palmetto, you need to get that link out of your email. PA Hillbilly. There's one I missed.
RL. Hi.
If I missed your name, make sure that you light it up so I can let you know, so I can call your name out. Let's see. RL. I see RL's in here as well. And I'm sorry if I'm squinting, you guys. Like I said, I have a cold going on in my eyeball.
My Wi-Fi is a mess tonight.
All right, tonight we're going to talk about EDC food and also wild edibles. So we should probably just talk about the EDC food, what you would carry around in your everyday carry bag. Say you were traveling around and you have your little backpack thing. Palmetto, I see you out there. Your Wi-Fi is spotty. Well, see if you can get in here. Oh, I see he is trying to get in here. That's D-Mac there.
My Wi-Fi never.
There he is. Hey, Dan.
Howdy, howdy. How's it going?
We got D-Mac in here as well. I'm trying to get Palmetto up here.
How's the new house?
It is a wreck, but it's awesome. Like, we're having a great time moving in. But there's a lot of, you'll see the basement here in a second. You guys will all recognize what I'm dealing with, man. I got 2 garage bays that are just kind of like in all the stuff that came off the truck. So,
so a small bomb went off.
How long have you been there? How long have you been there, Dan?
I landed here probably, I think it was, I got in like on Wednesday last week. So just about 4 or 5 days. So.
Oh, so you're kind of settled in, sort of.
Yeah.
It's just getting everything in its place.
Yeah, got the bedroom set up and got all the mainstays kind of staged where they need to be, but we're just kind of unpacking all the small nitty gritty at this point. My workshop is atrocious, but it is what it is. I still found some time to slap together an AR here, so that was fun. So.
Yeah. All right, I see Insight Freedom came in. How you doing, Scott? And also Joran. I'm not going to say the last name. I always tear it up. But Joran's in here, and also Scott from Insight Freedom. Welcome, you guys. So we're going to talk about what you would carry in your bag if you were just to have it in the back of your car. So in case if anything happened, you'd have something to munch on when you're getting home and stuff. So you got protein bars, or what I have in mind is protein bars, and usually chocolate. I love chocolate myself, so I usually have some sort of chocolate in there. And you always got to make sure that you got some sort of hydration in there. In my case, I have a bladder in mine, and what I do is I fill it up with water, and then I put some of those tube things, that you buy. It's not like it's something like Kool-Aid, but it's not. I'll just pour some of those in there and shake it up real good, and I'll just let that sit in there, and then I change that out just about every other day because I don't want it to sit in there for a long time during the summer months. It gets all icky in there. But yeah, trail mix is another good thing to keep in your bag. Let's see, what would you keep? You hear anything I'm missing, you guys?
Well, I don't have a car. So
Well, do you keep any like electrolyte mixes, like Gatorade or anything?
Well, that's what I was trying to say. Though you get those tube things, they're not
okay.
They're not Kool-Aid, but they are a juice that has electrolytes in it.
Yeah.
It comes in powder form, and you can just tear the top off and put it in your water.
Yeah, they're for 20-ounce bottles of water. Yeah, I know.
Can't remember what it's called, Sunlight or something like that.
Sunlight.
And that's what I use.
Everybody
uses something different.
Crystal Light, maybe.
Crystal Light. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I just
Sunlight, Crystal.
I see the picture on the box and I grab it.
Sunlight.
You're asking me to read at my age? I don't have to.
Will has harnessed a tube of sunlight.
What do you throw in your bag, Dan?
Well, my bag. So I've been kind of in a different situation lately. I just moved, so it's obviously changing right now. But for the last couple of years, I worked at a car dealership, so I literally drove a different car every day. I would drive multiple cars a day. Every day I drive a different car home from the pool. So I never had like a specific vehicle that I could just like throw all my stuff in the trunk and have it kind of staged there. So I had to like think really small and modular, because every time, I'd grab it from one car and throw it into the other. So my bag was a little bit more, I guess it would be more extensive. It's kind of like a cross between an everyday carry bag. I mean, like my bag is my bag. Like I have my bug out bag, I have my get home, but whatever you want to call it. But realistically, I don't. I have like one bag that kind of does all the above. And it's the bag that I carry with me every day. So it's my everyday bag. It's my, if the car breaks down or whatever. But then I do have a secondary, like supplemental car specific bag that's going to have like a jump box and a couple other things there. And I'll get into some of the specifics there in a second. But, so I have actually like two systems that I kind of carry with me every day, because I was moving around from car to car so much. And because of what I was doing for work, I needed extra car tools to be able to jumpstart cars, to tow stuff, to do all the above. So in my everyday carry bag, I've done videos about this. I carry, my Leatherman bit kit, flashlight, couple of little odds and ends tools, nothing major, like a small little pry bar, a pair of wire cutters, because I find myself needing a pair of just like standard Dykes wire cutters all the time. And so that's kind of one of those random small tools that I keep in there that I use often. I keep a Silcott key in my bag in case I need to grab water at an industrial park, something like that. I also randomly, my backpack I carry one of those Vertex bags that's got all the secret hidden compartments, and I've got extra armor plates, so I have a plate of armor in my backpack so that I could use it as a little shield if I had to, in case something odd happened in public. But other than that, I keep like a map of my area, compass, so that I can navigate around. I
keep like little packets of trail mix. I get like the big boxes of them from Costco, and you can get like they're like 250, 260 calories per little packet. So I keep a bunch of those in there. I got like a little steel cup that I have that I can use. It's kind of like a what you'd expect to see in a get home bag, just a little bit smaller, not quite as extensive, so that I can actually lug it around every day.
I don't know. It sounded a little extensive.
I like to carry my toys, obviously, but
sound like he's got everything but the kitchen sink in
pretty
there.
regularly, and being away from home base, it's nice to have it there so that you don't have to go hunting for it. I hated having to go up and use like some of the mechanics toolboxes and stuff. So I kept a handful of wrenches that I used regularly and things like that in my bag, just things that I would use every day. But in the car specifically, the car specific bag, that has like a little battery jump box so that I can jump cars easily without having to do the jumper cables. I keep the tow strap with a couple of little clevis shackles so that I can, a 20-foot tow strap right there, a couple of bottles of water. And that's really all that and then like a couple bungee cords just so I can lash down hoods or doors or something like that. But that's realistically all that I've come across that I've really realistically needed in recovering vehicles. And at the dealership, I find myself having to recover vehicles or limp cars home that were broken down one way or another, very regular, multiple times a week. So I've done a lot of roadside recovery, and I've like the jump box and the tow strap has really been the only things that I've used of significant merit that would be different from your standard kind of survival kit.
How about you, Reed?
Well, for food-related items in my bag, okay, someone's going to gross out at this, but I'm a fan of sardines. So I have cans of sardines, and I have MRE crackers in there, and I also keep an MRE, and then I also keep some freeze-dried Mountain House food, so like that. Now, for me, my everyday carry, get home, I actually only have to walk about 5.5 miles if all heck broke loose and I needed to walk back home. So it's not really that far. The one thing, though, I load up on is a lot of water, because even at 105 degrees, 5 miles is, well, you're going to look like you took a shower by the time you get home. I mean, completely look like you were taking a shower. So it's very important to drink a lot of water. So most of my bag's weight is all made up of water and little mixes of stuff. And I also keep, though, a lot of times, though, in the year, I'll also have like, those pickles that are in a pouch you guys see at the stores like that?
Yeah.
All big pickle?
Yeah, the salts in the pickle are good for replenishing electrolytes, and I'll just kind of sip on the juice. I know that sounds weird, but it works for me.
Doesn't sound weird to me.
Doesn't sound weird to me. I like
a lot of people like
juice.
pickle juice.
Yeah, so for, related to food and all that, I actually put canned meats, crackers, and then like an MRE, which gets rotated out. I'll eventually, the MRE usually lasts for a little while, and then it becomes lunch one day, because I sometimes get behind on stuff, and it's like, I got the MRE lunch.
Yeah.
And same with the Mountain Houses at times. And they're not like, they're the little hiking pouch ones, not those like a giant can or something like that. They're just like the pouch versions of Mountain House. I'll keep those around as too. So like, you'll see like mac and cheese or the pasta versions or something like that. And those often get turned into lunch some days too. So
I like those ice cream bars.
Oh yeah, the freeze-dried ice cream bars.
I like those, man.
Yeah,
I got them in all my backpacks.
Yeah, so
I want like 1 million of those.
Yeah, so I keep that's how I keep a lot of my food rotated out. Is I'm like, I should rotate food. So what am I having for lunch today? And dig something out of the bag and just eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. Got to have all that protein. Make sure you got protein in there, I usually throw a bag of jerky or something in there so that you can just munch on that while you're walking,
Yeah, it'd have to be a small bag of jerky for me and stuff. That's why I kind of like the MRE option pretty well, because how they have them so componentized. You can just kind of open some stuff and walk as you're eating.
Yeah.
I know Anthony had way too many when he was in the service, and he's probably thinking, "Oh gosh, an MRE? No." But I actually think they're not too bad for a lot of the purpose, and I also like that if I'm just trying to get going and there's no other thing going on, you don't need much preparation. I mean, they can heat up on my bag as I'm walking, and then I can eat something hot while I'm moving along. The mountain houses take longer to prepare. You know, you got to boil the water and everything else like that and such. And so I also keep, you guys will laugh at this, some aluminum foil in there so I can make a solar oven to cook things if I need to.
Well, that's because you're the mad scientist. How about you, Alana? Alana, let's get a woman's perspective. Say you're out and you have to come home. What would you have in your bag to help you get home?
My perspective is a little different because I don't have a car.
That's why I asked
so everything I carry, I have to carry. So yeah, I do carry protein bars with me. I carry, like, if I go out anywhere, I carry a lot of stuff with me. Like, I carry an army bag and a backpack everywhere I go, which makes me look weird.
Oh, I'm the same.
I look homeless, and I'm not even homeless anymore. I carry so much stuff. And I carry a bag around my neck full of stuff. I'm like a crazy person. So, yeah, I carry, like, energy bars and bottles of water, hard candies, coffee candies. Sometimes I carry, like, other beverages with me. Just okay. I carry, like, MRE components because, like, I review MREs, you know, so... Like, that's my channel's MRE stuff. So I have like 1 million MRE components sitting around in my apartment. So sometimes I just throw them in there, like, you know, because they're already packaged. I live in a really cold place, so I carry those things that you can make warm in the winter. What are they called? I don't remember what they're called. Hot hands?
Oh, yeah.
And I carry hot feet.
Nice.
I carry all those like little things that if you shake them, they get warm. But I don't do that now. I mean, I do that in the winter months. And I can only carry so much stuff. It get heavy. So I don't want to carry like cans and stuff. I just want to carry like the kind of stuff like those protein bars because like I don't eat meat, so protein. Whey protein bars. And I carry these things with this freeze-dried fruit in it that also has freeze-dried yogurt in it. Like mixed in the same pouch.
What brand is that?
I get them at the CVS. Huh?
What brand is that? That sounds neat.
Oh, they come in a few different brands. I don't have one in front of me. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know what they're called, but you know, it's not like a cup of noodles, you know, where you got that little styrofoam cup. But they come in those little cellophane pouches or packages. They're like, maybe that big and about that thick. But inside, just like the little noodle things, like in a cup of soup. And when you pick them up, they're all compressed like a brick. And you can sit there and you break it up inside the bag, you know. And then what you do is you warm up your little cup thing on your little stove, and you just pour them in there with a bottle of water. And then when they heat up, you can just eat them. I do that when I go like fishing and stuff, and I'm out there for the day, you know. I'll just take one of those and I'll put it in my water cup, and I'll put a little bit of water in there and just make a fire and cook it real fast. And that's just like having a soup, you know, for lunch, you know.
One of my favorite MRE components happens to be the cranberry raspberry first strike ration bar.
Oh my God,
I really like those.
That is the best one. That is excellent. These are called the brand that makes those is called Simple Kitchen.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
Simple
it's like
Kitchen.
Half chunks of yogurt and half freeze-dried
I
strawberries.
gotta write that down. Simple Kitchen.
They're hard to find singly. Like when you buy them online, you got to buy like a case, and they're really expensive. And sometimes I can find singles for just a couple dollars here in town.
Yeah, a lot of the freeze-dried stuff. Yeah, but
like
at least it is good. It's usually pretty good.
25 of them. You know, and I'd like to just get one or two because I'm not going to eat them every day. I'm just going to carry them with me. So
Or you at least want to taste test them first before you buy a case.
You also want to know if you like them, but I knew I liked them because I've had those two things before. If I had a food freeze dryer, I would be eating freeze dried yogurt every day. That stuff is so good.
I'm gonna have to try that. I surprisingly have not had that yet.
It also comes with blueberries and yogurt.
Huh.
You're next, Anthony.
Oh, all right. Well, hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Doing good. How you doing, man?
For
Hey, what's
EDC,
up, man?
for EDC stuff, like I have everything in my previous video, so I'm not going to go over it again. But for food-wise, it really depends on season for me. Since being in the spring and summertime, and usually in some of the fall, a lot of stuff is going to melt if I leave it in my car or even carry it with me, just because the heat is so outrageous. But for the most part, I like what Reed was saying about MREs because that's totally true. But I totally do have an MRE meal chili mat because it's probably the best one in my my get home bag. The only reason I have it in there is because I don't like eating MREs unless I absolutely have to. I realized if I carry things that I like, I'm going to eat it for lunch or something for like a snack. So if it's something that I like, but not like I really want to get on my way to do it, just put an MRE in there. That way I'm not really tempted to eat it. So unless I really need to. So that's kind of why I have that, because I keep peanuts and almonds and a lot of nuts will stay in the, with the heat, no problem. And I also like the little Jif poppables. They're like these little ball things of peanut butter. That's probably my favorite thing to carry with.
Those are good.
Yeah, peanut butter's got lots of protein in it too.
So the little peanut butter
prepper in the comments said that she carries. What does she say she carries?
It's always funny though when you
ammo water rifles.
Yeah, they're Jif poppables. It's little peanut butter balls. They're great.
I've seen those.
Where you get those
They're
at?
only like 25 cents.
I think you probably get them at Walmart. I get them at my local grocery store. So if they have at my local one, my small little podunk, small town, then I'm sure they got them in big cities and stuff like that.
I don't live in a big city, but I have a Walmart.
I'm sure they probably carry them there. It's Jif, so it's a national brand, so it should be there.
Okay, so it'd be in the peanut butter aisle, huh?
I live in a kind of big city, and they're like 4 for $1 at ours.
They're not expensive at all, and they're great because you just carry them with you and pop them and eat them. It's awesome. So those, and then my one MRE main meal, the only thing I really carry. I'm pretty close to home 99% of the time. If I go out farther than that, then I'll bring a bigger snack, but it's usually nothing too serious.
Oh, you're secretly agoraphobic. You just won't admit it yet, right, Anthony?
There's no admitting. I'm prior military. We're always sitting at home.
I kind of like that too. I don't like to go far from my home.
Yeah. When you start prepping and stuff like that, you're like, okay, how far do I want to be away from my supplies?
I don't like leaving my house because I was homeless in the past. So now that I have a place, I want to stick by it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, for me, I spent so much darn money on my house. I don't want to be away from that. It's my favorite place. It's mine.
Someday I will own a house and I will never
leave. I was just looking in the side chat here. I want to hear what Lori Jean says she does. She says, I bring my bag every time. Too much weather differential in my area.
Yeah.
I'm with Lori. I always take my bags in with my bag. Well, it's a backpack. I always take it inside with me. And I get a lot of weird looks a lot of times.
Yeah.
Go to the dentist office, come in with a bag. They're like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Yeah, when I was healthier, that's how I did it too. I always just every time I got out of my car, it was just habit to reach in the back seat and grab my backpack and just sling it over my shoulder. It was just a habit for me.
I'm probably still going to do it, even if I get a car. I'm probably still going to just carry everything anyway because I'm so used to it. So I know what you mean.
It all depends on where I'm at.
Without it.
Draw attention. I try to avoid drawing attention to myself. So if I'm just going in somewhere for less than half an hour, I won't carry it with me. But if I'm going into work or something for like 8 hours, then yeah, I'll bring it.
Well, yeah, for me, it depends on the heat. When it's 104 or something like that out here, I'm like, even, 15 minutes can be pretty darn warm in the car. So
If you guys in the side chat have anything to say, make sure you say it, and I'll bring it up here on the screen for you guys,
Yeah, I'm reading the chat.
so everybody can see your comments. If you have something to add to the chat.
Yeah, Gage just came in. And
All right. Well, if
in
you
the
guys
chat.
want, I am actually out at the wife's car right now. Kind of fun doing a little audit.
What, are you in the car now, Dan?
Yeah, I'm actually out in the car. Yeah. So I figured, if we're talking about the stuff we have in our car, why not go out and actually look and see what I've got in the car and
There you
and be
go.
real about it and see what let's do a true prepper audit type of thing right here. So this is the back seat of my car. This is the back of the wife's car right here.
She says
we've got a
negative
little bit of
45
everything in
Celsius.
here. Jumper cables, air pump, WD-40, snow shovel, trash bags, power inverter, tools, fix a flat, paracord, tow strap, tire chains, more fix a flat,
I like charms.
water, MREs,
It's show and tell.
oil connections, steel chocks, light bulbs, and duct tape. So then I've got just up top, there is a sleeping bag and a small thing of water. So that's the inside of the wife's car right there.
You look like the Blair Witch.
Yeah, so that's the stuff that I've thrown in the hatch down there. That's kind of sorry. But that works out pretty well for us because I can tuck it down in there super easy. There's always extra shopping bags or a backpack or something in the car right there, so you can grab any of those supplies that are staged down there in that kind of hidden area by your wheel well. Find the hidden areas of your car and stuff whatever you can in there, and you've always got a little bit of this and that. You don't really have to worry about moving bags in or out of your car because you'll always have it staged in the kind of deeper areas of the vehicle.
I usually also keep one of those hot cold things like pizza you can see at the store. I've used them to keep things warm and cold all the time. I keep one in my cars all the time. They're really handy.
Are you talking about hand warmer?
No, it's one of those insulating blanket things for if you went and picked up a pizza, you'd put it in there.
Yeah.
They look like silver?
Yeah, they look like silver. They're like a Mylar with insulation and stuff around them.
Mylar blanket.
The ones from Better Call Saul. Yeah,
But
I know what
they're
you're
also
talking about.
they're handy. If you're in the small town and you're for some reason up in the big city, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to get some frozen items. You can open it up real quick and throw the frozen items together, and they'll make it home with you at least.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a problem because not having a car, I have to bust
Ryan the
the train with my
gamer.
food and it always melts.
I talked to Ryan the gamer.
I didn't know that.
He's asking where Cheryl is. And Cheryl had to take tonight off, you guys. Cheryl has some family stuff she got to take care of, so she'll be here. She'll be back next week. She just had to take some time off.
Man, I got an eyelash in me.
I know you guys get used to seeing her up there, huh?
Cheryl's not sick.
She's not sick. She just has some issues she's getting through.
Well,
no
so here's a question for the panel. There's a couple of guys there. Anthony specific. Do you guys carry dedicated firearms that are for the car? Do you have car specific firearms that stay in the car?
Mm-hmm.
I do. I have two that are usually on me at all times, and there's one of them that's in the vehicle. It's I call it my truck rifle. Just in case I need a little bit heavier firepower. The only reason I do it is not to sound crazy or anything like that, but I mean, any firearms tactical training that you've ever had, I know that the T word is bad for YouTube. I'm sorry, Will. But any tactics training that you have is going to prove that, you want to have superior firepower at all times. So sure, I love carrying a sidearm and two sidearms, I have a revolver usually in my boot and then one on my hip. But if I ever need, if I'm in a situation where I got to get home, it's nice to have a truck gun. It's an AK-47 just in case. Stays in the truck all the time. It's always going to fire because it's an AK, but that's usually something I like to keep with me. Again, just in case. It's locked to the frame, so no one, if they break into the thing, they got to cut out some welds basically. So it's whatever.
Yeah, it's like me. I always carry. I have a concealed weapons permit, and but I carry it inside the waistband. So when I'm a bigger guy, so when I get in my car, it's kind of hard to reach for the pistol while it's engaged in my waistband. So what I've done is when I get ready to get in the car, I just reach down and take it out of the holster in my pants, and I put a holster into my Jeep console. And as soon as I get in there, that pistol goes right into the holster on my Jeep console. And so it sits right next to my right knee. So if I ever need it, all I got to do is reach down there and grab it. So, yeah, I have security.
Are you an open carry state, Will?
You can do either one here, but people frown on open carry.
The fact you can do it, we can't do it at all here.
We can't open carry here, but I talked to the police department about it, and he said you can open carry, but the old ladies usually call us to come and get you when they see your gun. And he's talking about the elderly,
Well, just get your gun painted so it's like bright pink and looks like a squirt gun.
Well, I'm going to try it again. I've been here for a while now. This company's sending me an outside the waistband holster to review. So I thought I would go outside with it on and do some filming with it and stuff and see if I can get the cops called on me.
I try to avoid that.
Just for shits and giggles,
So we can't do that here, but in Georgia you can. And I know a lot of guys in Georgia will dress up kind of in I wouldn't call it undercover police officer attire, but they dress in that tactic choir. So people think when they look at them oh, they must be some sort of undercover police. It's no big deal.
So, so they've got the cargo pants and all the stuff and the tactical boots
and the 5'11", the guys that who definitely blend into military, but police, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, tactical is cool. You gotta be able to protect your family. I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
imagine somebody mistaking me for a cop.
We had a big discussion on my live stream last night about this. So if you guys want to know about my feelings on that, just go watch my live stream last night. It was a 3-hour one, and we talked about some pretty good stuff.
Oh yeah, it was some epic rants on that one.
Last night?
Yeah.
That was uncomfortable.
3 hours. I was a beat up sucker.
Not because of you, Will. No, that whole homelessness little conversation we had.
I'm sorry that I put you on the spot there on that, Alana.
And then people telling me that all homeless people are bad. I don't like that. I don't know. If I want to talk about that, I'm going to have to think about it a little more.
Yeah, we'll have to give you a chill pill. You guys want to get into edibles? How you can get into wild edibles and how you find them and stuff?
Well, sure. Edibles aren't legal in my state yet, but you can go get them in Colorado.
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Here and I don't use
that was the thing I Googled, when I was Googling the edible stuff, doing some research and stuff. I Googled edibles in the wild. That's what I put into the search engine. The first thing that popped up was marijuana.
Yep.
Very
what are
first thing.
About? Well, you're talking about eating dandelions and stuff, right?
Yeah. Say you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need to. Your go bag is empty. You've ate all your food or whatever, and you need to find more food and protein in order to keep going, those types of things, because each part of the country, I've noticed everybody in the panel is from a different part of the country. So you guys not anymore. Not any less.
Southeast with me.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. South's representing now. So
that's right. I'm not the only one anymore.
Oh man, but you guys are in geological different areas.
Yeah, he's in Georgia.
Yeah, he's in Georgia and you're in North
Jordan isn't even
Carolina.
in this country, is he? I mean, isn't he from far away? Because he said it was morning.
Well, I hear Palmetto's moving to New York City.
Yeah, right.
They'll have to cut his legs off if he does that.
If I did that,
I'm pretty sure there'd be snowflakes in hell before
I
Anthony
think I
moved to
would
New
go
York
and
City.
eat mushrooms in the woods because I know which ones to eat.
I don't even like my capital city, and it's only like 500,000 people.
Where
Yeah.
do you live?
I'm in South Carolina, but I'm in the sticks between Augusta, Georgia, and Columbia, South Carolina. So my little small town's like 1,200 people, and it's almost too much. I'm almost yelling in traffic, like, move!
Yeah, I'm like that, and I live
Shit,
right
dude,
in
I saw more people than that on my way to the gas station today.
Yeah, you're like right there.
I saw 1,200 people drive by me in the 20 minutes I was out getting gas for my car, bro. Like,
You're in the place of 23-hour traffic, man. Good luck.
hell yeah, man. I'm in the city that never sleeps. There's 6 million people down here just hooting and hollering. So
I went to a
man.
football game like 6 years ago, and we got out of there at like 2 a.m., and there was still traffic on the highway. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? This is ridiculous.
dude, yeah, no, like I drove in on a Wednesday night, literally at like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night or some shit like that. And I wasn't even like in the city. Like I gotten back out to the suburbs, and like I still hit bumper to bumper traffic at freaking midnight on a Wednesday, like trying to get to the neighborhood. Like, gotta love the suburbs, man.
That's crazy.
It's not, so I live right in a city, like right downtown. Like I can see downtown out my window. But
I'll
we
stick
can
to my,
find wild food everywhere here.
You're
It's very natural here.
You're an urban eater.
I am in an urban area, but we have woods all around us.
Yeah.
So we have wild mushrooms that you can eat all over. So
How do you tell do you know the difference between them?
I know which ones are edible already.
You stay away from the funny ones, right?
We have chanterelles that grow here.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Morel mushrooms we have here.
Lucky.
Yeah, no kidding.
Blueing mushrooms and pheasant's back mushrooms, all kinds of mushrooms around here that are edible.
You guys don't have any Liberty Bells, do you?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't seen any.
I'm green with envy.
Liberty Bells are silly Simon.
No.
I'm so green with envy right now. I wish I could get them.
We have a lot of poisonous mushrooms too, but people don't eat them. We have a lot of berry bushes that grow wild around here too.
Morels are pretty good. I used to go morel hunting every year when I lived in Washington. Those things cost big bucks if you buy them.
Yeah, like pink chanterelle mushrooms grow wild here, and if you buy them at the store, they're like $20. That's crazy because you can pick them.
It's too hot here. We can't get any of that good stuff.
Well, I got cactus everywhere you can munch on out here.
In the fall and spring, but I don't know. Not in the winter. I mean, like in the months that aren't winter. When it's winter here, there is nothing wild out there.
Is all cactus edible then, Reed?
No, only certain types. The safest one to eat is the one that makes the prickly pears. Their pads are quite edible, and then of course the fruit, when the fruit's out, is very edible. Now, actually, because of that, and I live in a small town of around 6,000 people. Lots of people have fruit trees. They have bushes. They have produce berries and all that. So for wild edibles, I more have scoped out the idea of who's got what growing in their yards.
Sure.
Yeah. You'd have
what
to
I want to know is
garden crop
in the winter. when there's nothing alive out there, I would just die.
You got to hunt then.
Well, everybody has dandelions, right? You can eat dandelions.
Not in the winter.
Yeah. Dandelions are actually really nice because you can make from the flowers. You can make a wine out of them then of course the leaves you can make salad. The root you can cook up, roast up, and make a coffee drink out of. Dandelions are really, really good to have growing
It's
around in your area.
It's a hardy edible. The flower you
Yeah.
can make honey out of it. The
People make
leaves,
tea out
the
of it.
leaves, yeah, the leaves you can use in your salad. And
Oh
then
yeah,
like
I had dandelion salads actually really good.
and then like Reed said, use the root. You just dry the root out. I was watching a video on this. Just dry the roots out, and you wash them off real good. Dry them out. Then you just crush them up, and you run them through a filter just like you do coffee grounds. And it's supposed to be better for you than coffee.
Be
Well, yeah,
careful.
there's no caffeine in it though. That's the only catch. So
It's a diuretic too. Be careful. If water's a priority, don't be doing too much dandelion because you'll pee all your water out.
Maybe I should try that because I'm retaining water.
There
Just
you
eat some
go, dandelion fish.
Yeah, it's a natural diuretic.
For the year already.
So
You
keep
know,
that
in
part in
like
mind.
2 months, it's going to be winter here.
That's why you got to stock with what you can.
Don't say that W word. I got tons of stuff to do outside still.
I have tons of things to do too.
I still got like 4 more months. I'm good.
There's always chickweed too. It's not just for chickens.
Chickweed's great.
It can be used in salads. And here's
And a
one I
pesto.
didn't know. Here's one I didn't know about. Maybe you guys have heard about this. Is the heck are they called? The thing cattails.
Oh
Cattails,
yeah.
Cattails are edible.
The
Oh,
inner,
they're
you want
quite
the inner
edible.
stem.
You want the inner stem, and the roots are edible too.
We don't have a lot of those here.
The inner stem is going to be your best bet. It's very tender and it's very starchy, so it's going to be a lot of carbs, quick carbs for you.
And they're saying go ahead and keep the head too because you can use that for the fire starter.
And also in the winter, actually, the inner bark of pine trees is edible. Not the best tasty thing in the world, but it is edible.
Well, that we have in Minnesota. Pine trees everywhere.
And then there's those purple flowers that you see everywhere. They're called chicory.
Oh yeah, chicory. Deer love those.
Yeah, those are edible too. I didn't know that. I thought they were just deer food.
Yeah, chicory.
Nope, chicory's edible.
Well, I guess if you just let the deer eat the stuff you can't eat, then you can eat the deer, right?
That's what I do.
I guess I have to. We have something around here called fireweed.
Fireweed? Oh yeah.
It's pink, and that's edible. But I don't know where else it grows. I only know mostly about my area.
Yeah, it grows. It says it grows it around Britain or in the Canadian province. Canada. Yeah, I almost said that.
It grows in Minnesota too.
So it's probably crossing down out of Canada if it's there in your area.
And see, like up in this area in Canada, we also have like wild rice growing wild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Wild rice?
But that's not everywhere.
Huh.
Yeah.
And they got enough lake water. They got rice everywhere.
Well, that's another thing I read was if you see it sticking up out, out of the water, it's probably edible.
Well, lily pads are edible, and if you ever find yourself from the southeast, you can always eat through some palmetto hearts.
You want food, don't you? You want some food.
Uh-oh.
You can always get the little palmettos because there's 2 types of palmetto. You got the palmetto tree and you got the little palmetto. It's a bush, and you can kind of get in the middle of that, and it's called a palmetto heart. That's very edible as well. But one of my personal favorites looks almost like clover because clover is completely edible as well. Same with the flower, but it's called wood sorrel. I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard of it. Wood sorrel.
Wood sorrel.
Oh yeah, I have heard of it.
It's got that lemon flavor to it. So if you throw it in a salad,
medium size plant. Flowers range from green to bright yellow.
Yep, mine are yellow down here, and they taste just like lemon. It's great.
How about bull thistle? They grow anywhere in you guys' area?
We get a lot of milk thistle down here.
We have some here.
We get a lot of thistles, but they're sharp, man. Those things hurt.
Yeah, it says take the thistle off before you eat it.
Well, yeah, I would hope so.
I don't walk barefoot because of thistle. Those things hurt, man.
And then there's broadleaf. You guys got broadleaf plantain?
Everywhere.
Plantain?
Yeah.
That's the best thing medicinal.
Yep, that's medicinal. Yep. It's rich in vitamins A, C, and K.
Well, we can
Makes a
also
good
do like
poultice.
pine needle tea. That's a good set of vitamin C source.
I've tried that before.
How is it?
It's gross, but you know what? It's healthy.
Then there's always the raspberries and the blackberries.
See, we got a lot of that here, like wild berries everywhere.
And if you
That's
can
good.
find blackberries, you should be able to find a bunch of them because there's not just one bush, there'll be a gazillion of them.
They are everywhere down
Yep.
south.
I mean, technically, you can eat clovers too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
I probably wouldn't want to, but you can.
You just
I
got to
know
keep in mind wherever you're sourcing this stuff from. I mean, you don't want to obviously get it from places that are sprayed or next to
Right.
roadsides or where animals kind of go on game trails because they're going to probably poop on them and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you're sourcing it from a pretty,
I have,
Yeah.
I'll pull this up. They have a way that you can test food if you find it and you don't know if it's any good.
Right.
Called the natural test of some sort.
No, the universal edibility
Universal
test.
edibility test. There it is. See, he knows. I've bookmarked it so I can bring it up for you guys.
Yeah, you just get a giant handful of the item, and you take you eat a whole bunch of it at once. You'll know quick if it's edible or not.
dead.
Dead. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, the
It'll
test
make
is
it
actually
work.
fairly complicated, and I don't entirely remember it off the top of my head. You got to put a part of it on your skin to see if you get a reaction. You got to boil it to so much water, swish it in your mouth to see if it affects. I mean,
Well, heck, you could starve to death by then.
there's several steps in the process, that's for sure.
Lots of waiting.
I really should go back and fully memorize it because it would be really good to know. It's one of those millions of things on the never-ending to-do list of things to do.
I thought I had it here, but it won't come up.
I mean, it's basically you got to touch part to your skin, part to your inner cheek, and then to your tongue, and then hold it in your mouth for like 15 seconds and spit it out. And then if you're good, then you got to swallow the little bite. You got to wait like 8 hours and see if anything happens. And
that's basically it. I think I have it here.
Then you got to turn it into a suppository and do all that stuff. And
tree nuts, know what to eat.
Turn it into a suppository.
I was kidding about that part. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't take Anthony's advice
right?
on anything, really.
Don't do that part.
It says not to eat it if it's just pretty.
Yeah, the very pretty things often are very dangerous. That's true.
Especially bugs.
Eat ugly stuff.
Yeah,
here it is.
Bright-colored bugs or
Universal-
frogs, bad, very bad.
When in doubt, try the universal edibility test. So at first you give it a strong sniff, and if the plant part smells awful or like a rotting corpse, toss it to the side. And then if not, hold the plant part to your inner elbow or wrist for a few minutes. Do you feel itching, burning, or any other negative response? If yes, don't eat it.
I hear a cat.
If your skin feels fine, kiss the plant with your lips and then wait for 15 minutes.
That sounds funny.
As long as there's no burning or itching, take a pea-sized bite. If the plant tastes extremely bitter or soapy, spit it out immediately. But remember, plants are gross, so don't expect a peppery flavor of basil, even if the taste is bearable. Hold the bite in your mouth and for another 15 minutes. And then finally it says, wait for at least a few hours, and at that point, if you're not feeling sick or dead on the forest floor, then that part of the plant will be edible. The universal taste test.
Could you imagine trying to be like that with rhubarb and realizing, oh, the stock is it's so good, it's just nice and sour, and then you get to the leaves and you're like, oh, I'm throwing up violently.
Yeah. Yeah, when I read that, I laughed, but I just had to read it out loud to make sure it did sound that stupid.
Well, it's like blowfish. It's like, hey, this is wonderful and great. Yum, yum, yum. Then,
Oh, no, we got Corsair Trainer out there, huh?
Oh, Steve's here. Oh, Steve's here. Hold on. There you go, Steve.
He must have just got here. He's still saying hi to everybody.
Yeah, when it comes down to a lot of wild edibles, you want to make sure that you're pretty well versed in your area, but never ever eat something that's not 100% sure what it is. That should be like common sense here, but just keep that. If you there's a lot of things out there that look like something else. Poison hemlock and wild carrot, that kind of thing. Like, you don't want to make that mistake because, you're not going to live. So if there's something that could be even close, don't even try to do, the look-alike. Obviously, the good thing about like wild onion is usually things in nature that smell like onions aren't poisonous. And whether it be an evolutionary standpoint or something, you were graced with your nose for a reason. Like,
yep.
your nose can tell you, like, if it smells bad, don't eat it. Like, if it smells like, okay, that's an evolutionary trait here. So use that, when you're trying.
Then there's also really watch out for some of those really dangerous plants. Like a great example is giant hogweed. The sap is extremely dangerous and can cause immense burns on you from being exposed to the sun. And so those, for a lot of plants, I'm like, if I'm even unsure, I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to mess with it because I don't want to risk that at all of, oh gosh, this thing's eating me alive or something.
That's right.
And that's how you're going to say it. Oh gosh, this thing is eating me alive.
Well, if you look at some, I think it's called wild parsnip too. If you look at some of the pictures from that stuff, you don't want to mess with it. It gives you some hardcore blisters. No way.
Yeah, and isn't the cow parsnip safe, but wild parsnip isn't, right?
It's something. It's really close, and I'm like, I've got to the point now where if it looks like carrot foliage and I didn't plant it, I'm not going to pick it ever.
Yeah, I'm with you on that front for a lot of that stuff. I'm glad a lot of those things don't grow wild here at all. There's not enough water.
Well, they grow everywhere around here. I don't touch them. I'll smack them with the damn weed whacker first.
Well, there's these weeds that look like wild onions too, but they're not wild onions. If you eat those, they'll make you sicker now too. You're going to pick them, make sure you smell them before you eat them. Make sure they smell like onion.
Yeah, Lori,
onions.
Keep an eye out for sunflowers. Those are also very good.
Yes.
Sunflowers, they're everywhere around here in the summer.
Yeah, I always like sunflowers. I consider them very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're going to smile at you.
Yeah.
Bees love them too.
And they're taller than me because I'm only 5 feet tall.
Randomly out in the desert,
you should be in the 70s, Alana. Then you can get those platform shoes.
We randomly get a lot of sunflowers that grow out in the desert, and they make great targets for firearm practice.
How tall are you, Alana?
5 foot.
5 foot? You're a short person.
I am a short person. Taller than my mother, though. my mother was only 4'10".
Oh yeah, then they also mentioned Jerusalem artichokes. I grow those myself here. Sunchokes are really, really nice. Just beware of the gas. They can give you a fair amount of gas.
Did you try it?
I actually did not have any trouble with mine. And I actually like the flavor of them. They're pretty good. I sliced them thin and I fried them up like chips. I need to make a video about it. And I really liked that. That was really good. I haven't done the baked potato method yet, so still on that.
They're really good at giving you wild or inulin. It's like a fiber that can only be digested in the large intestine. So some people are a little bit more susceptible to gas or should steer clear away from those. Anything that's cruciferous that gives you gas, wild sunsoaks will give it to you bad. So.
Whoops, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, what is that Helioanthus annuus?
I know. I brought it up. Does anybody know what that means?
I think that's sunflower.
Something. Oh,
is
sunflower.
What's that mean, Scott?
Sunflower.
Yeah,
Annual sunflower.
There's another one up there too, I think.
Technical, scientific.
Wild sunflower. Yep. Also called Jerusalem artichoke.
I mean, they're very, very pretty, and it's great if you know what they look like. That way, if you're ever foraging and you run across them, you know exactly what it is.
Right.
I mean,
they are distinctive. They have a very distinctive appearance to them.
Yep.
They're not like sunflowers, but you can tell they're very related.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
It's hard to read that little bitty. That's why you see me going like this. I'm reading these little bitty words over here.
I can't see the chat, so I'm sorry, y'all.
Let's go. I can see the chat. I'm looking at the chat. What did you want to know? People are talking about flowers.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look at there.
Oh, actually, another good edible is daylilies. They are not a true lily, but people get them confused and call them tiger lilies and everything. A daylily actually makes tubers in the ground that look like little tiny fingerling potatoes, and they are actually really tasty and grow really well. I actually grow them around here myself because we put them in the front to have a nice decoration, but they're also edible. Also, the flowers, before they open up and form into a flower, you can cut them off and fry them in butter, and they taste like okra. They're actually really good.
Daylilies?
Yeah, daylilies.
Or tiger lilies?
Well, people call them tiger lilies and all that. There is a difference in how they look when you see them, but because a lily actually grows from a bulb. A daylily does not grow from a bulb.
Yeah.
And in any places where there's water and all that, they grow like crazy. A lot of people plant them or consider them pests and weeds, but they make a lot of really good tubers under the ground you can dig up and eat, or if they're growing at the time, flowers, even the stems are edible and stuff.
People are making faces on the or something. Oh my gosh.
I need my pokey bait. I left it in the kitchen.
Did you see I put it up? Did you see I put it up there?
Yeah, I see it. I need my pokey bait.
I'm
Just
teaching.
That's military.
I was giving him heck. Showing him that better watch what he says. I can bring it up on the big screen.
I got a whole bag of stuff here. I haven't unpacked.
Well, I rewatched the stuff that way I can see what I missed in the chat, and I'm sure I'll see all that fun stuff. And when I watch it again,
I always look at the chat while I'm on here on a different thing.
Yeah, that's what I have to do. I got something going on with my eye, so it's hard for me to see the chat.
Yucca root is really good. I eat yucca root all the time.
Oh yeah, yucca.
Somebody was saying that in the chat.
I haven't found it.
Hiking and bushcraft was talking about yucca root.
See, around here we have a lot of blackberry and wild grape. That's about the biggest stuff you're going to find in the middle of summertime. But even in the fall and winter, I mean, you really don't get that much stuff.
Food Forest Permaculture says, don't eat every white lily.
Most of the stuff in the lily family is very poisonous.
I won't touch any lilies for that reason.
Yeah, they're also extremely poisonous to lots of animals.
You can technically, I guess, eat aloe too.
Yeah, you can.
There's aloe all over the place.
See, my favorite mistake I made was I thought I was eating elderberry one time, and it was really pokeberry, and I got real bad stomach cramps. So never again.
I ate the wrong berry once too. I got very, very sick.
I was like, this stuff tastes like crap. How do people like elderberry? And then I realized it was pokeberry. I'm like,
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah, generally people eat berries that taste good. So don't taste good. That might be a hint.
If it tastes
Well, I
like
figured it
crap,
was like-
I'm gonna keep eating it.
I figured it was like juniper berries, where like maybe it's just a acquired taste or something. But I was like, this is stupid. I hate this.
Well, I mean, like, there's a bunch of choke cherries around here. They're gross.
Okay,
I
I saw.
What?
I was told to do that.
Oh,
I was only doing what I was told.
That's all right. Chesty's rolling over in his grave right now.
Yeah, we'll get him back another day.
Take my hat off anyway. My head's starting to hurt.
wow, I don't feel good.
Trying to read FFP only eats the aged sun choke late winter to early spring. Pressure cook all the sun chokes and no gas. Add curry powder.
Sun chokes?
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, it's a Jerusalem artichokes, sun chokes.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, the other thing is if you plant them, be warned. They're very hardy, and they will invade areas.
Oh,
Yes.
they're one of like blackberries. They take over.
Invasive plants.
I had them at my old house, and I feel bad for the person who bought that house because their probably backyard is full of sunchokes at this point if they didn't fix it. It's like bamboo. It's like the herpes of plants.
There's this one farm back in Washington, right along this one highway I always travel, and they planted one row of bamboo in one of their fields one year. And by the time I left Washington, he had bamboo clear across over to his driveway. And he had a big sign out by the road, free bamboo.
It doesn't really grow here. Like, nobody has that here. Where I live, nobody has bamboo.
A lot of places are making it illegal now. It's getting so invasive you can't plant
Maybe
it.
it won't grow here. Like,
Oh,
maybe-
really? I didn't know bamboo was being regulated like that.
In certain municipalities, a lot of neighborhoods are doing it now with the homeowners association because people plant it so they can have a privacy screen, and they're like, no, you can't do it. So
Yeah. It grows like a bad weed.
it's a grass. It's probably one of the fastest growing things on the planet. That and kudzu.
Now, I actually wouldn't mind growing some of that bamboo that is real strong and tall that you can literally make scaffolding out of. I think it'd be great for building all sorts of stuff with.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
the
I
Chinese
said.
have been for years.
That's what the Japanese build houses and stuff out of.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be kind of strong stuff.
Yeah, every once in a while you see those old things pop up online. You know, the guys building everything out of bamboo. So I mean, it's useful, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't play.
I'll send you a package of bamboo for you, Palmetto.
I'll set it on fire and film it.
I'll just throw it everywhere.
Send him some
outside.
blackberry bushes, seeds.
No, I know. We will go over to his house and plant it, and he won't know until it's too late.
Just plant it in everybody's yard, like in secret.
I'll go and get a bulldozer and dig up that whole acre. I don't care.
I don't have a yard, so don't mess back.
I will rent a bulldozer, an excavator, and backhoe, and I will get down to nothing but clay. The blackberries enough.
Blackberries are invasive as well.
The blackberries and sweet gums around here are ridiculous because once you cut down a tree, the blackberries will invade the next year, and then the sweet gums will pop up on every single stump that you just cut like tenfold. So
And the blackberries, when they take root, man, they go way down. Those taproots go way down in the ground. You can't really get them out unless you excavate them, you know.
Well, that and they do the lateral shoot, so they'll just keep on shooting off to the side.
Yep. And they drop off in the fall. And
I guess if
In
you
my
really
area,
need to
there tends
kill
to be
them,
more
just use the
raspberries than
biblical
blackberries.
method: salt the earth.
Yeah, nothing else will grow.
yeah.
Old
Well,
man wants to know
has anybody
if you're
got
eating
anything
popsicle,
else? What?
Well, the old man wants to know if you have your popsicle, Will.
I have not got it yet. It's way over yonder.
Will. I have one, but I'm not eating it right now.
I'm saving it for later, old
I'm
man.
saving it for when I'm not on camera. You're saving yours for later, Will?
Yep. Yep. So has anybody got anything else? Anybody out there in the side chat? Somebody's gonna have to read the side chat. My eyes just
I
not
am reading
working.
the side chat. But people are just talking about berries and popsicles and hammocks for a snack.
FFP says Yukon, Donjong, and Oka are for me with sunchoke. 22 types of potables are for order ground food.
Uncle Al says brains.
22 types of potatoes are for underground food for SHTF, he says.
And he says D-Mac is asleep.
D-Mac,
Nope, not quite. Nope, I'm here. I just don't have a whole lot to say about plants because I'm not that good with them. So
Yeah, frozen yogurt counts, Kaylin.
2 frozen yogurt tubes in the freezer. It probably will kill the acetophilus or whatever, acidophilus, but you could still thaw them out and eat them.
Acidophilus is wonderful stuff.
Die in the freezer.
sunflowers, they grow like weeds too. They take over pretty good.
They're everywhere around here. I think they did take over. Whoa, what's that?
Ding dong.
Brain pate. Somebody said.
All right, anything else from anybody out in the side chat?
Well, Gay says she made hammocks for her snakes.
I like throwing ham hocks in my collard greens.
Hammocks?
Yep. Make your collard greens taste good. Of course, I'm probably the only person that likes collard greens in here, but hey.
Hammocks or hammocks?
Somebody read what FFP said.
I love collard greens.
Who can
Hey,
see?
I'm not the only one.
Hey, Alana,
My
read
boyfriend Kevin is
read what
famous for
FFP
dolls,
said.
so they
Alana,
make them every year.
Alana, read what FFP said.
FFE.
FFP, yeah.
Alrighty.
Food forest permaculture. Uh-oh.
He said Yakan, Dijoning, and Oka are for me with sunchokes, and 22 types of potatoes are for underground food.
And he said
Or SHTF.
plants go to the bathroom and you drink and breathe their byproducts.
Oh, that? Yeah. I was reading the wrong one. Yes. Plants go to the bathroom and you drink and breathe their byproducts.
That's a weird way of saying stuff. like, hey, I'm sniffing their reproductive systems.
I'm breathing their poop.
Cattail roots are edible. Ryan the Gamer is leaving. Good night, Ryan.
Later,
Well,
Ryan.
at least we made people laugh tonight.
Everybody's making me
Yeah.
laugh. Too much.
All right, you guys.
think
I'm
you're
gonna sign off, and don't leave you guys in the panel. We'll talk about next week, but we're outside the panel. It's time for us to sign off. We're at the time limit, and everybody can say goodbye to them. You first, Alana.
Bye, everybody.
Anthony.
Have a good night.
Hey, I'll catch y'all later.
D-Mac.
It has been a pleasure. I wasn't too chatty tonight, but promise I'll chime
And
in a little bit
Reed.
more on some more topics.
Have a great night, everyone. See you next time.
All right, you guys. I'll announce next week's topics tomorrow night. Oh, that's pretty.